Then the hadith continues by Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti, and if dancing is added to this standing, it may not be condemned, as it is the joy of spiritual vision and ecstasy. And it is mentioned in the hadith that Jafar ibn Abi Talib anhu danced in front of the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ told him, "You resemble me in looks and character," dancing from the happiness he felt from being thus addressed, and the Prophet ﷺ did not condemn him for doing so. This is the basis of the legal acceptability of the Sufis dancing from the joys of the ecstasy they experience. Hence, it is correct to stand and dance during gathering of zikr sama, according to a group of great scholars, among them being Sheikh al-Islam Izzuddin bin Abdul Salam. So this is the hadith which is quoted by Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti, who is a well-known muhaddis of Islam, a great classical scholar, very famous classical scholar, and there are some other hadiths also which we will show you shortly. Now in another version of the hadith which is mentioned by Hazrat Ali bin Abi Talib radhiyallahu anhu, which states, you can see the Arabic of the hadith also, and you can have the correct translation from any scholar. The hadith states, Aswad narrated to us that Israel informed us from Abi Ishaq, from Hani ibn Hani, from Ali ibn Abi Talib. This is a chain of the hadith which is just quoted there, that he said, I visited the Prophet ﷺ with Jafar bin Abi Talib and Zayd ibn Harith. The Prophet ﷺ said to Zayd, "You are my freedman," whereupon Zayd began to hajala, hope, which hajala in English means hope on one leg, a type of dancing, around the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ then said to Jafar, "You resemble me in my physical form and character," whereupon Jafar began to do the same behind Zayd. The Nabi ﷺ then said to me, "You are a part of me and I am a part of you. Anta minni wa anta mink wa anna mink," whereupon I began to do the same behind Jafar. Whereupon I began to do the same behind Jafar means Hazrat Ali radhiyallahu anhu also hoped and danced behind Hazrat Jafar radhiyallahu anhu. So this hadith is quoted by Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal in his Musnad. You can see the chapter number and the hadith number also. This hadith is declared authentic by Ash-Shakir in his review of Musnad. Al-Bazar in his Musnad with a sound chain, according to Imam Al-Hatmi in his Majma Al-Zawaid, also declared this hadith to be authentic. Also, this hadith is reported by Imam Bayhaqi Rahmatullah Alayh in his Sunan Al-Kubra. The chapter and the page number is also given to you here. Also, Ibn Abi Seba in his Musnaf. This hadith is also declared as Mursal by Ibn Sa'd, who reported it in his Tabaqat. The chapter and the page number are also given to you. So this is a very authentic hadith which is a Sahih hadith with correct narrations, correct chain, and which has been declared Sahih by not only Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti Rahmatullah Alayh, but by many other Imams. Here is the scan page, the scan fatwa of Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti Rahmatullah Alayh. You can see it right now. You can also read it later on. This is a link where this fatwa has been uploaded. The link is also written. You can also see the link later on and decide yourself. Now going more deep into the chain of this hadith, just to make sure that our Muslim brothers know that this hadith is sahih, and it's not a hadith which I quoted from myself or which I just made up for myself. Imam Nisai rahmatullah alayh, who wrote Sunan Nisai, which is a very authentic hadith book, said that there is nothing wrong with him, with the chain of this hadith. Also Ibn Hibban rahmatullah alayh, who is also a classical scholar and a great classical scholar and very famous and respected personality of Islam, mentioned him in his At-Tiqat, which means the trustworthy narrators. Imam al-Ijli declared him trustworthy also. Secondly, Imam Bayhaqi rahmatullah alayh, as already mentioned, also reports it in his narrations with minor variations, including the quirks of above hadith. Although Imam Bayhaqi rahmatullah alayh includes a second individual who heard this from Hazrat Ali radhiyallahu anhu, he mentioned the following chain. So this is the chain, which you can see the Arabic and Urdu both here, and Imam Bayhaqi rahmatullah alayh quoted the same hadith with a different chain, with just one minor change in it. Now talking about the same hadith, we will also quote Hujjatul Islam, Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayh. His fatwa from Ihya Ulumuddin is quoted here. You can see the exact Arabic of the fatwa. In his chapter on ecstasy in this book, Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayh, I will also show you the scan page of this book inshallah. In Ihya volume number 2, in the chapter of ecstasy, there is a full chapter on ecstasy written by Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayh, in which he quoted various proofs from Sahaba radhiyallahu anhu. He said, at a time of hearing religious songs, don't stand up, cry, hoarse, but restrain yourself from this sex. It has been reported from many companions that they danced out of joy after the death of Hazrat Hamza. A quarrel ensued among Hazrat Ali, Jafar and Zaid regarding the maintenance of the children of Jafar. The Prophet ﷺ said to Hazrat Ali radhiyallahu anhu, "You are from me and I am from you." At this news, Hazrat Ali began to dance. The Prophet ﷺ said to Jafar, "You resemble me in character and conduct." At this, Jafar also began to dance in joy. He said to slave Zaid, "You are our brother and chief." He also danced in joy. Then the Prophet ﷺ gave charge of the children to Hamza radhiyallahu anhu. To Jafar, and as the wife of Jafar radhiyallahu anhu was the maternal uncle of the children, and the maternal uncle is like mother. In another narration, it has been reported that the Prophet ﷺ allowed Aisha to see the dance of some Abyssinian slaves. Ecstasy sometimes becomes so strong that one cannot restrain himself and thus act contrary to his habits. So Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayh clearly says here, lastly, that ecstasy sometimes becomes so strong that one cannot restrain himself and thus act contrary to his habits. Now this is quoted in page number 179 of Ihya of Imam Ghazali, volume number 2. Then after this, on the same page, on page number 179, Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayh mentions regarding the rules of the mehfil of Sama, that if someone stands up out of ecstasy among a group, others also should stand up, as it is a rule of good manners of association. So Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayh first criticized